welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your visions out of life and boring news, folks. It's our job to give you some interesting bits in real sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long or so podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And, we've got some topics to chat about with you tonight in this wacky NFL world we're in. Let's put it this way. I'm happy that the news broke before we started recording because we've been having a tendency where we record, we get the podcast out, and then things go south.
And then all the news happens. Nope, it happened on the day of recording as it should.
So I appreciate the NFL teams getting us the news informations before we record for the podcast. So we're going to talk about all of that in the Sports Sampler. But before we get to all of that, Mikey, my friend, how are you doing? How was your last week? What are you up to? What are you feeling?
Well,
this is therapy at this point.
This is therapy at this point. No, I've been doing pretty good. I recently took the plunge into 3D printing.
Oh, yeah. You took advantage of Prime Day.
I took advantage of a Prime Day deal.
How many Prime Days are there? I thought it was supposed to be like a holiday.
It's like Prime Day's like all year round. Like, I don't know why they act like they only have sales on one day. I guess they have like bigger sales. The thing is, I didn't even buy it through Amazon. I bought it through the manufacturer who was having deals because everybody else was having deals at the same time. So it wasn't even.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. Prime Day is what made me think about it because you're browsing, you're like, oh, a 3D printer. I could totally.
Okay, I thought you got it through Amazon, but no, this is you went straight to the source.
Straight to the source, yeah. I decided to take the plunge on 3D printing. It's been something that I've been thinking about. I have some 3D printed objects that I've bought in the past, and I've seen people make things, and it's like really cool. I'm like, I want to try it. And what got me thinking about it was making our own decorations for the wedding.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of wedding planning and all that stuff, and thought, why spend hundreds of dollars on buying the stuff when I can spend hundreds of dollars to make it myself?
And you keep the 3D printer.
But then I get to keep the 3D printer and I develop a new hobby from it. So
smart. Take that.
I thought it was. We'll see. We'll see how long this experiment lasts.
Yeah.
No, I'm very excited. I've used all the little sample filament that they gave me. I've been printing up a storm. So it's really cool. And the model that I got is really easy to use. They advertise it as this brand is great for beginners. And I'm like, perfect. I don't want to learn anything, do anything. I just want to hit go and it make a thing for me.
Yes.
But the learning comes as you use it. But I don't want to have some of them. You had to like assemble the whole thing, and I'm like, whoa. I'm already spending a couple $100s on this. I don't want to build it myself. I want one that's already built for me. Please, thank you.
Yes.
So that's the one that I went with.
There you go. Fantastic.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. I've been 3D printing.
All right. There you go.
What have you been up to?
I finished Baldur's Gate, actually.
You finished?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that game actually ended.
Yes, it does.
So
finally, it took us like a year.
What happens when not story wise, but like what happens when it ends? Do you get to go back through the world, or does just credits roll and it's like start again?
Is
there an end?
There's an ending, and then there's an epilogue.
Okay. Is there an end game? Like after the game, do you get to go back into the semi-open world, or is it just new game plus or start a new run?
I mean, yeah, you're pretty much at that point you're done. So you'd pretty much just start a new game.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's the new thing though. And now that I can actually like put some time into it, is even on consoles now you can put mods into the game.
I saw that announcement.
That's crazy on console. They usually don't do that on console.
So you had two runs going. You had your private personal one, and you had the one that you were doing with Rachel.
Yes.
Are you going to start a third with mods now?
I think so.
Or are you just going to mod the remaining run that you have?
No, no, because actually my remaining run was actually to the end as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you kind of finished it twice in tandem.
Yes.
Wow.
So
man, I got to get back to it. Damn.
Yeah. So I think if I go back to it, I think I want to explore the mods and see what I can what wacky situation I can come up with.
I see that people have added new races, new classes, new just everything.
Like that's Larian said that they're done. This is the last update for
Right.
Baldur's Gate,
Right.
but in a way they had the perfect way to cap it off by allowing mods.
Yeah.
Because now the players can
Now the
create.
now the community takes hold. Yeah, and I mean I've seen other games with the mods, and people are so creative and so talented.
Yeah.
I just know that like it changes your game. Don't know how people do it, how they make it happen, but I'm thankful for them.
Yeah, I know. Rachel was asking me a lot of questions about mods,
And you're
I was
like, I don't know.
They work, and
They
they change the game, and you can cheat the game with them, but like I don't know how it gets made, and I certainly don't know how like it works on the console end.
Yeah.
Because I get it from the PC angle, because everyone's
Right.
PC is different, and you can do whatever you want, but the console. That's crazy to me because like Sony has to like authorize mods being allowed.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
whatever you do to the game code has to not break
The PlayStation
the
code.
PlayStation code itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not a. I guess with modern consoles, it's easier because they're all designed to basically be kind of like PCs with like a fancy UI. So maybe it's like a little easier, but like yeah, you're right that there's like a lot of specific console stuff that you have to think about.
Yeah. So I was very surprised to see mods being allowed, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's available and seeing what I can
I'm super,
what trouble I can get into.
I'm super jealous because I can't even play with the mods because I haven't finished my official run through yet. I don't want to start modding it,
Yeah. No.
60% of the way through.
Yeah. And also you got to work on Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, God. I can't play that game on the TV
Why not?
because it's embarrassing.
Then you haven't made it deep enough yet.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Some person just confessed to me that they were like all super depressed and stuff. All of a sudden, it got like really serious. I was like, I wasn't expecting it to go that way. I'm still playing it though.
Yeah.
I said I was gonna have it finished, but I didn't get a chance to.
Well, keep playing it.
Okay.
Because
I'm so worried. I mean, I have a feeling I know what's gonna happen, but
I can't tell you,
okay.
and I can't tell you either at home. You have to experience it.
It's free till the end of the month.
Yes, it's free for
PlayStation
October.
Plus. Go check it out.
No excuse.
It's not a spooky season game.
No. I mean, I don't know. You'll see. Let's get into the first part of the show here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. It's time for the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports, 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 sports.
In your face. Ha ha!
Oh, no. We're going to talk about sports.
That was the most authentic reaction ever because I think that
Yes.
was everybody's reaction to the end of the latest Eagles game. I mean, we won. Spoiler alert.
Can I before we get into the Eagles, because it's
Okay.
going to kick off all football, and I realize there's something else we got to bring up.
Okay.
Joel Embiid.
That's not football, but okay.
Nope. But it's just a sign of Philadelphia sports. Apparently, he has not recovered as ideally as they wanted him to this offseason from a minor surgery that he's had, and he's being held out of the preseason right now. And he also said in an interview that he is looking to be, quote, done with playing back-to-back games.
I literally just saw as soon as you said Joel Embiid, I'm like, let me see what's happening. That's the quote. May never play back-to-back games again.
Yes. As a Sixers fan, I'm getting worried. I think
We've been saying, and I know that it's quite a controversial and different opinion than most, but I and you have said we should trade him while the value's high.
Yep, and I think his value is now going to start to plummet because now the issues are going to start to become more apparent.
Well, this is the point in the career where the issues really start to pile on. You know, when you're young and relatively healthy, never fully healthy in Joel Embiid's case, but relatively healthy, you can, take all the positives without worrying about that kind of stuff. But now you're at the point where the scales are a little bit more balanced in terms of like, well, is it really worth the risk? anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, what value is there if they do decide? I don't think they will trade him, but if they do decide, if you were another team's GM.
No, I think the window for trading him was last season. And
Because it's declining value at this point.
yeah. So, unfortunately, I think for better or for worse, I think Joel Embiid stays on the Sixers roster at this rate. But
What do you think if he does only play, say, like 60% of the games? He doesn't play back-to-backs.
I mean, sure. I guess look, I get the whole logic behind it.
This is load management.
Yeah, it is. This is modern NBA basketball. Personally, in my core, I hate this.
Yeah.
Like I could never imagine Michael Jordan being like, "Nah, I'm not going to play a game." When he absolutely was perfectly fine and perfectly healthy, he would never just turn down a game.
Or really anybody from like the 90s and 2000s and that kind of
Yeah.
like era, like Kobe Bryant would never do that either.
Yeah.
You know.
So it hurts me as a basketball fan that this is where we're going in the current NBA strategy. But if it keeps them healthy for the postseason,
You're changing your tune.
look, I'm changing my tune because I want the Sixers to try and do something before Embiid is completely done.
It'd
But
be really nice to see them exit in the first round again. That would be fun.
How about in the second round? How about the conference finals? Get to the conference finals. Would that be? Is that okay?
Let's make it there first.
But no. Still on its principle, I hate it. No, it bothers me.
It's weird that it's one thing where you have guys like doing it but not saying it, i.e. LeBron James, but for him to say, I won't play back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Like that's kind
like
of
a quarter of the games this season.
that's like breaking down the floodgates.
How would you like it if Jalen Hurts came out and said, I'm not going to play any game that's not on a Sunday or something?
Right now, I mean, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, no, joking aside, it's a tough pill to swallow for fans and also for teammates and people who are counting on those players, those superstars, to show up and do what they're paid to do.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, if you want to really look at it, it is a job. I can't just tell my boss, I'm not going to do back-to-backs. I'm just going to take off every Tuesday and Thursday?
Yep.
Honestly, that sounds fantastic, but I don't think my employer would like that. So, you know, there's a lot of issues with just openly saying, I get at face value the benefit of load management. I don't think I was ever as annoyed about it as you were. I do agree that it is problematic. It is unfortunate. I understand that when all these teams are looking for the slightest edge, you know, if they're like, all right, if we hold a guy out for like 5 games, then it gives us, you know, a little bit extra in the playoffs. Like, I get it. They're trying to find an edge. Props for trying to do everything you can to win. But at the same time, you're right. It really does, especially for the fans. It really sucks. You go to a game, and all of a sudden you learn, the superstar that I paid $100 to come see is under load management.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, and in the middle of all this, the 76ers are trying to land a stadium in Center City. What a time to bring this quote out.
It would be really funny if it's gonna happen, but like they finally do it, and Joel Embiid's like, I'm only gonna play like a game a week.
I want to be a supportive Philadelphia fan.
I don't.
But oh my God, the Sixers are making it so difficult for me to try and like. I'm not even really looking forward to this season now.
They're honestly the worst Philadelphia franchise right now. And like I know they've had moderate success, but it's been fake success. In basketball, it is so easy to make the playoffs. They give a playoff spot to
20
it's
out of
20
the 30.
out of 30 teams. You barely have to be.
You have to have a pulse.
Yeah, yeah. So for just say, X number of times in the playoffs. Okay, for who? For what? At the end of the day, okay, congratulations, you made the playoffs, and then how many times have they exited in the divisional round?
Yeah.
Was it like 5 years in a row?
Yeah, they haven't made the Eastern Conference Finals since.
Yeah. So what's the point?
Yeah, since Allen Iverson, it's
Yeah. Yeah. What's the point? Sure, they made the playoffs. Okay, good. Yeah, and grass is green, the sky is blue.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm gonna go to a Flyers game. F you.
No, really, I think that the Sixers are the worst Philadelphia. Not in
They're-
maybe not in terms of winning record, but like the worst in terms of
they are just
mojo.
it just seems like they're just so tone deaf between the stadium, between load management. Between
I've been saying it for years. They trusted the process. They don't know how to win anymore. Like when
they don't know how to do a lot of things.
when you
anymore.
take your whole franchise and they're like, let's actively lose, you develop a losing attitude and mindset. And that's why Jimmy Butler left. That's why Joel Embiid has never been, the huge game stealing star that he needs. He's been a star, but he's not going to like take the game on it and turn it on its head.
Yeah. So
They have a losing mindset.
Sixers, you're really just you're not close to me at this point, and at this rate, I don't know. The Eagles might be next. Let's get to
boy.
the
All
Eagles
right,
game.
Let's get back to it. The Eagles. Yeah, so we did win. We squeaked by the mighty Cleveland Browns, 20 to 16.
That's the appropriate sound effect.
That is exactly how it feels.
This is the weirdest win I've felt in quite some time.
I was lucky that I didn't get to actually watch the game, and I found that my Sunday was way more enjoyable. That's not a good sign, is it?
No, and maybe for your blood pressure, it was for the best, because the way that this first half ended was atrocious.
I did see, I was keeping tabs on it. I looked up, okay, 10-0, fantastic. Going into the half with lead. And then all of a sudden, like 45 seconds later, I look up, what happened? They tied.
Yeah, so the Browns kicked a field goal, 10-3.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles were marching down the field, and I was like, oh, cool, score before the half. And, they weren't going to get the ball back. The Browns were getting the ball back. So you're like, okay, all right, yeah, good. And they're doing well. They're marching down the field, and then they have a simple 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1.
I think they picked up a pretty good running back in the offseason, didn't they?
Yeah.
I forget what his name was.
Yeah.
And then also, don't they have like a whole offensive play that they like revolutionized the NFL with? Did they happen to do either of those, Rich?
No. Instead,
okay.
they throw a screen pass
Of course.
to Saquon,
Okay.
and he's short of the first down marker.
Because screen passes go behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
You see, when you need to make a first down, typically you want to throw beyond the line of scrimmage, right?
Yeah. So, right there, questionable call on 3rd
Yeah.
and 1. Questionable effort. I hate to say it, a little bit of a questionable effort by Saquon Barkley.
I don't
'Cause
understand.
he had some open space. I think if he could have maybe not ran straight to the outside, but did a little Duke Jeek or something,
Yeah.
I think he could have got that first down. But, whatever. You're still feeling fine. You're still feeling confident that you're going to take some points, and then all hell breaks loose
Yeah.
on a blocked field goal that gets returned the other way, making
Rodney McLeod.
Rodney McLeod, making him the leading touchdown scorer of the Cleveland Browns as of right now. He's a defensive player. He has scored the most touchdowns on this Cleveland Browns team.
That's pathetic.
That's true. That is a true statement.
That's wild. And what's even more pathetic about this is that we only ended up beating this team where the defenders are scoring more touchdowns than their offensive weapons. We only beat this team by 4 points.
Yes.
Yeah, going into halftime 10-10, we reflect back to last week when we said that we had to have a resounding victory against the Browns coming out of the bye against one of the worst teams in the league.
And getting
At
all
home.
getting all the weapons back.
Yep, all the weapons back. So this was not that. And it wasn't that for
Oh,
basically...
and by the way, Nick Sirianni better thank his stars that A.J. Brown was in this game. If he doesn't have A.J. Brown in this game, they lose this game.
Oh, yeah.
He had 2 big catches that turned the tide
Yep.
of how this game went in the second half. If A.J. Brown is not in this game, they lose this game.
We rely too much on pure talent. I know that sounds ridiculous, but at a certain point, we saw it last year, talent gets tired. You can't just keep chucking it up there and hoping for the best. It's what happened last year. We got off to, a 10-1 start, and then all of a sudden, you have one bad game, and then you have a second, and then the talent gets tired, and the talent gets demoralized, and all of a sudden you're spiraling down to, what do we finish, 11-6?
Yep.
After starting 10-1. Talent only gets you so far. You still need game planning. You still need coaching. You still need general football IQ and awareness. This is now 6 straight games where we have not scored a single point in the first quarter.
Yep.
And for being an offensive
The only
mastermind,
NFL team right now.
yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of bad NFL teams out there. And I know I've seen people online, and this is what frustrates me about this fan base. Like, yes, there are people out there like, fire Nick Sirianni today, get Nick Foles back, like the WIP people. But then there's also people like, well, technically, the Patriots never score in the first quarter because Bill Belichick likes to see what they're doing. Yeah, this is not Bill Belichick and the Patriots, you nimrods.
Yeah.
Like, the very best team in the history of the 125 years of the NFL and the Eagles. This is a PG-13 podcast. I was so close.
Barely.
That's not the same thing. That is a false equivalency. You can't take the best team in NFL history via hindsight and be like, yeah, this is what the Eagles are doing too. Clearly not.
No.
Because when the Patriots did whatever they claimed to do, they also took teams like the Browns and they buried them, and then they backed an extra truck of soil on top of them. They obliterated them.
Do you remember the one year the Patriots had that FU season and they there was a game they won 56-0 like that? Yeah.
That's what really good teams do to bad teams.
That's what I wanted to see in this game.
We needed a convincing victory, and we had a If this were the Chiefs, I'd be like, wow, good win. 49ers, solid showing. The Browns?
Yeah, the Browns that have nobody.
The Browns. Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the game, and I'm mad.
Yes. Well, how about the fact that Nick Sirianni was yelling at fans in the stands?
I saw a quote from, I typically don't much care for his stuff, but Colin Cowherd said that Nick Sirianni is a crypto bro.
Yeah, I did see
and
that.
I was like,
yeah.
Yes, that is exactly the energy.
Yep.
He's beating the Browns 20-16, and he's acting like he just coached like a 17-0 season.
Yeah.
Dude, read the room. That's why I had to come out and apologize. Like, I have always been, for the most part, a fan of Nick Sirianni up until the past year or so, where those things that he did were fun, and they're like, yeah, stick it to him. Now they're starting to look more and more like really douchey, obnoxious things. Like, when you're winning, it's all good. But when you're struggling, it is what it is. It's him being an idiot.
Yeah. It just doesn't look professional.
No.
I can't imagine Bill Belichick and Andy Reid yelling at their own fans.
No, never.
Yeah.
Never.
And I don't know how much of a leash he's got, because
The problem is you don't fire coaches who win games.
well,
Like,
that might change soon.
So here's a fun thought experiment. Like, what needs to happen for him to get fired in the middle of the season? Is it just
eliminated from playoffs?
as soon as they're statistically eliminated?
I think if that happens, I think at that rate, I think you got to get rid of them.
So, they reach double-digit losses.
Yeah,
And-
something like that.
And it's out of
I think
contention.
I think he's definitely fired at that point. Yeah.
So we got a ways to go. Not that I'm
Or
ever
do you think, I don't know, maybe if he gets a really bad loss, if they get blown out?
I don't know. See, that's the thing that's giving me pause. Obviously, I'm firmly in the camp of there are issues with Sirianni.
I tell you what, it does feel like I feel like he's done this year. I don't know. I feel like something's going to happen. Either they lose,
maybe he gets to coach out the year, but maybe
something's going to happen.
they mutually part ways.
Something.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't think he's going to go the Doug Peterson route where they pull him with what was it, a game or so left in
Yeah.
the season.
it just seems evident that this coaching staff is not helping the team.
No, and it comes from Sirianni.
This team has spent so much money on offense. I think they're the number one team in terms of offensive money spent.
I just don't get it.
And they can only put up 20 points on the Browns.
You look at some of the scores from this past week. Chicago put up 35 on Jacksonville. San Fran 36, Houston 41, Baltimore 30. and the Eagles can barely muster. Oh, Tampa Bay 51 against the Saints. The Eagles are barely mustering 20 with, on paper, the best offense in the league.
Yeah, all these weapons.
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, those guys are both just flat out number ones on other teams. And we get two of them.
They're supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
And it just seems like on this team, they're just invisible sometimes.
Dallas Goedert, top 10 tight end. Easily. Just on, I know he doesn't get the targets, but on talent. The offensive line, one of the best in the league. Saquon Barkley. Like, at every single position.
Run the ball on first down. Why do we not do that? Please.
It's way easier to work with 2nd and 6 than 2nd and 10.
Yeah. I still don't understand that.
That's a problem way back to the Andy Reid days. I
Yeah.
think that's going to plague us until the day we die.
Yeah. I will say there is a silver lining in this game. I like Jalen Hurts.
Really?
He actually
I mean, no turnovers.
This was his first game, I think, in like 7 or 8 games where he didn't have a turnover. So props. He got better.
The trick with Hurts is he has to do it 2 games in a row now.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. Like,
Look.
you can have the flash in the pan, but I want to see consistent sizzle.
Okay. I'm trying to just look at anything positive right now, Mike.
There's nothing positive. This is a winning team that feels like a losing team. I'm getting that same feeling last year where everyone's like, oh, we're doing good, but, we had a good win, but it's the same problems. It's the same problems. It's 23 games of same problems.
All right. Well,
I know. I'm a
you're
doom and gloom.
Yeah. And look, also everybody else in the NFC East lost this weekend.
That's true. It is still a very it is a division that I think is still wide open.
Yes.
Because the Commanders are doing well, but rookie quarterback, you don't know how long that magic is going to last, right?
Yeah.
How much legs they have.
Who will crack the code on
Yeah.
Jalen Daniels?
The Cowboys are just a disaster. The Giants somehow even worse.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. How about we
Anyway.
get to other news that happened literally today before we started recording. Big wide receiver trades happening today.
Yes. This news broke just before we got together to record. A couple of big moves happening. The Las Vegas Raiders traded wide receiver Devontae Adams to the New York Jets, of all teams, for a
good for you.
Yeah, well, good for Rodgers, reunited with basically his entire former team, and all the Jets had to do was give up a conditional 3rd-round pick. But the bigger question here is,
doesn't this confirm the fact Aaron Rodgers is literally like the player coach GM of the Jets?
It's so bizarre that in 1 week,
He literally,
Robert Saleh was fired, and then they go get his best buddy.
But they said, you're forgetting the point in between when Aaron Rodgers goes on Pat McAfee's show, his bro, his crypto bro or whatever you want to call it, and he goes, "Oh no, I don't have any influence on this. No,
right.
Oh no, I don't have authority on this. No, I just go in and I just try and do the best I can," and gave this whole BS speech.
So BS.
That looks, so fake now that the Jets are actually going to land Devontae Adams.
You got to wait at least a week
Yeah.
after making that statement, right?
And then guess what? They didn't do any good. They still lost Monday night.
Yeah.
And on an interception by him, too. He threw the interception to lose the game on Monday night.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers is literally
The
just
Jets.
riding the Jets for just $50 million a year and just having there's no consequence on him. What are you gonna do? Cut him? Yeah, it's not happening.
This is just like a reunion tour.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
He's like living out his last glory days. Like, it's clear that everybody, I see the clip going around of the giant Hail Mary that it had. Okay, they still lost the game.
Yeah, that was at the end of the first half. That
Crazy Hail Mary. I actually watched it live. I'm like, okay, that was really impressive. But you lost the game.
yeah, it didn't help.
Yeah. So,
Jets are gonna jet. They're gonna go 7-10. This is another
I said
crash year.
I said when they made the Rodgers deal, I said, I don't think he's going to help them win many more games than Zach Wilson.
Well, I think you're on the right path here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they got him his entire offense from Green Bay.
Well,
Isn't that wild, though?
Well, yes, absolutely wild.
Isn't that wild?
And shows you that Aaron Rodgers has more than just regular franchise quarterback pull. He's got more than that in that organization. But not to be outdone, the Bills come out of nowhere and get their own wide receiver. They talk to the Browns and they trade for Amari Cooper. And I think there you go. There's your chess move.
Yeah.
You think you're going to come at us with Devontae Adams? Here you go. Checkmate. Amari Cooper. We're good.
Yeah.
Because who else is going to stop the Bills in that division?
Right now, as long as the Bills can play fundamentally sound football, they should be the winner of that division. The Dolphins,
unfortunately, got the injury bug. They're out.
Honestly haven't even heard the Dolphins mentioned, like, just in passing.
They're out. Without Tua, that team's out.
Yeah, the Jets are, as we talked about, just a dumpster fire. Like, they might get close to a 500 record, but there's so much drama there. They just can't hold that together. The Patriots are just kind of rudderless. But yeah, the Bills, with this signing, it replaces a huge missing piece in Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
So again, they have a solid, reliable veteran wide receiver.
That's another thing too with this move is like also the Bills actually, if you had to identify a problem area, it was wide receiver.
Yeah.
The Jets, they already have wide receivers.
They have wide receivers.
They have Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
They had
Alan Lazard. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Line up in like 4 wide receiver sets all the time?
Rodgers literally just wanted his buddies back. It really just both these moves together highlight how bad the Jets are.
Every play, the Jets are gonna line up in 4 and 5 wide receiver sets.
No, for me, this story really is how bad the Jets are and how bad the Browns are. Because
every play, 4 wide receiver set.
4 wide receiver set, yeah. No, the Jets are terrible. The Browns are also terrible. This move, to me, confirms
Who's
that...
Bryce Hall? What? Who's that?
Why bother running the ball? But I want to talk about the Amari Cooper trade because it also, to me, indicates or signals that the Browns have given up on Deshaun Watson. You don't get rid of playmakers for a quarterback who is struggling to make plays.
Yes.
Like that, unless you are full-on giving up. Now, they're not going to cut him during the season.
No. So I've heard this happen at various office jobs where you have somebody that you kind of want to go, you want them to go, but you can't fire them.
Yep. And you make things a little too untenable, a little too uncomfortable.
Just make things as hard as possible.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, we need to move your office desk. You need to move around. Oh, you gotta.
It's office space where they put the guy in the and they take a stapler.
You're gonna have to go down in the basement. Unfortunately, we ran out of space for you up here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And
there's a little bit of a roach problem. Can you can you spray around your desk? Thanks.
That's exactly what's going to end up happening here. And Deshaun Watson in about 2 weeks is going to have an injury.
Deshaun, your locker's been moved down to the basement. You're going to need to take care of the roach problem.
You know what's interesting about this? These 2 moves, it's 2 quarterbacks at opposite ends of the spectrum. Aaron Rodgers has way too much power, and Deshaun Watson is being shoved into a locker at his place of employment.
He's being shoved in the basement. Yeah,
he's shoved in the basement, as he should be. He's dirt, but the Browns, they're done.
So, yeah, I think this is a clear sign the Browns are going to just punt this season away.
Yeah.
Why not? What, they're 2-4? They're
1 and 5.
1 and 5.
1 and 5.
Screw it.
And they just traded away one of their big playmakers, or I guess you could call him that still, on the Browns.
Well, he was on the Browns.
He was on the Browns.
On the Bills, I think he'll be very much more productive.
On the Bills with Josh Allen...
His numbers are going to go up.
That offense now is, the Bills are already pretty good, but now, they filled that missing piece.
Yeah, his numbers are going to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the Browns, what do you do? How exactly do you handle this Deshaun Watson situation? Because even after this season ends, they owe something like $100 million to him because of that damn fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah,
So what would you do? Would you just... It's not going to be one season. You're going to have to. It's going to at least be a 2-season hit. $100 million is way too much.
You have to spread the cap hit. The bigger question is, of course, is, do you outright tank the season, or do you try to salvage it somehow? I think at this
No,
point,
it's tank.
You have to be in tank mode.
Yep.
So now the real question is, how do you handle, separate from football, how do you handle the PR nightmare, right? The Browns are not unfamiliar with PR nightmares, but they always seem to fumble them. If I were them, I would concoct a quote-unquote injury for Deshaun Watson.
Well, they did that last year. I don't know if you're going to...
You don't think they can use the same storyline?
Yeah, you're just going to run it back?
Why not? What else are they going to do? I mean, do you just outright bench him? Because why haven't they yet done that?
No, I think just you throw him out there, you get your money's worth.
Just throw him out there. Just,
Good luck.
And just know every week, they're going to lose. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets, just slaughtered.
That is one way to look at it. You can keep putting him out there with fewer and fewer weapons, and just watch his stats take a nosedive, watch him get banged up, and then at the offseason, then you have an actual excuse. Well, he performed poorly, he's often injured.
Yep.
So that is one way to handle it.
Yep.
Just
and
keep
then,
on sending him out there.
Yep. And then you spread that $100 million dead cap hit over a couple
It's
seasons.
going to suck, though, because, unlike Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson, where the whole dead cap hits in 1 year, they're going to have like 2 or 3 years.
It's too
of
much.
You
can't
it's
have
too
it
much.
one season. It's got to be spread out.
No, it would cripple them. So, but by spreading it out, you still are, it's like $20 to $30 million a year for like 3 to 5 years of like just dead cap money. That's insane.
They're probably going to take the majority of it next season. So maybe hit
do like 50 next
50 or
year.
60.
And then you take the last little bit and
and then spread that out like 30 to 10 or something like that. I don't know.
just a
That's
disaster.
rough.
Just a class act in how to be a terrible football franchise.
Yeah, it's not hyperbole. Deshaun Watson might go down as the worst contract in NFL history. It really might be.
I mean, what has he done for the team? Nothing.
No, did absolutely nothing.
And at this point, he's had more than enough time to prove his worth.
Yep.
Like, we're past the point of like, oh, well, he spent a year out of football. He needs to get back into shape. Or like, oh, it's a new offense. Like, it's been what, 1.5 seasons and change?
Yeah, because this is his third year on the contract.
This is the third year on the contract. His first year, he was suspended 11
Yeah.
games. But he played the back half of the season. Then he had a full, quote-unquote, season. He was, like, injured last year.
Got hurt, allegedly.
Right. But this is his third offseason and season with the team.
Yep.
So,
wow.
even Mike Vick improved faster than that when he came back from literal prison.
Yeah. Maybe they should have
The
sent...
man
they
was
should have
literally locked up. He came back, and in 2 years' time, he was like the starting quarterback. Deshaun Watson is done.
Deshaun Watson should have went to jail and then come back.
Yeah.
That would have helped.
Yeah. Less massage parlors, more jail.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh my
Anyway.
God. What is this? What is sports? What is this segment?
Who knows?
All right. Well, if we're lost, let's go back to a recurring segment. And that is the segment where we're going to review 4 games that we think you should keep an eye out for this upcoming week in the NFL. It is the Fantastic 4 picks. All right. The music is on. What are the games?
All right, first up, speaking of Deshaun Watson, how about his former team, the Houston Texans, traveling to the Green Bay Packers? This is Sunday, 1 o'clock. A couple of young guns here in C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love. 2 high-flying offenses. Rich, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, the Texans have really done well for themselves after getting rid of Deshaun Watson, and C.J. Stroud has really proven to be the real deal franchise quarterback of that team. They unfortunately lost one of their wide receivers. Unfortunately,
Yeah, Nico Collins out.
That's a big loss.
Yeah.
But they still got Stephon Diggs. They've got a couple of other playmakers.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, I don't want to go against the Texans. I'm going to go Texans. I really like their mojo.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This is tough, though. Let's
It
go
is
either way.
tough. I like the Houston Texans. I still think their story is incredible. They have lots of great playmakers. I mean, Green Bay does too. That's why this game is so close. But I think my gut is saying Texans. I think they have a little bit of an edge on defense.
Yes.
I think they're a little bit more well-rounded. I know Green Bay's at home, but I have to feel like the Texans still have a slight edge here, just because
Yeah.
they have.
On paper, they have the better defense.
Right. On paper, they're more well-rounded. I know Nico Collins being out is a loss, but like you said, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, they have playmakers. So, yeah, slight edge, Houston Texans. Next up, though, again, another tough one, a division rivalry. The Detroit Lions traveling to Minnesota to face off against the Vikings. Rich, what do you think about this one? This could be for the division at the end of the season right here.
Well,
I know Green Bay is still in the mix, but
this is their first matchup, so they'll have a second chance with this matchup. I'm going to go with the Lions in this one, just because losing Aiden Hutchinson is such a big loss to this team. I think this might be a rallying cry for that defense to come together and just have that next man up mentality. Usually there's kind of a team building moment when one of the star players on either side of the ball goes down, and everyone just kind of like has that mental nod to go that extra 110%, so that the loss isn't felt instantaneously on this team. So I kind of like the injured player theory here in this one. I'm gonna go Lions.
yeah, I've been a big fan of the Lions from last year. I know the Vikings are undefeated, but every week it's like, when's the first one going to be? When's the first one going to be? It could be this one. Tough division game. On paper, the Lions are statistically just much better than the Vikings in terms of overall offense, passing, rushing. They're just one of the most dynamic offensive teams in the league right now. I mean, you saw in that game against Dallas, they were trying to force touchdowns to linemen.
Yeah.
They had such a commanding lead. When we talked about the Patriots earlier in the sports segment, we talk about the ridiculous running up the score. The Lions have that potential. So if they're going to do that against the Cowboys, why not a division rival as well? Really make a big statement. This could be, like you said, a big statement game. Losing Aiden Hutchinson here against a division rival. I like the Lions. I think it's going to be close, but I still like the Lions overall.
Yep.
Next up, we have a Super Bowl rematch. It's Kansas City Chiefs traveling to San Francisco. This is a Sunday 4:30 game. People think this game is very close. It's almost perfectly split, 50-50. The spread is very slim in favor of San Francisco. Rich, do you agree?
Well, this is an interesting scenario because, on most sports books, this is an even money, straight up proposition. There's not really too much of a point spread on this one. You know what?
I don't see it that way.
I don't either. I think the Chiefs are in a better position here. They're coming off a bye week too, right?
Oh,
Andy Reid is he's almost an automatic win coming off of a bye week.
yeah.
You got the better quarterback, Mahomes. You've got still decent talent on the Chiefs. I know they lost wide receivers, but they're working Juju back into the rotation.
Juju, they have Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt's back in.
Got him back.
I don't see why the 49ers are, they're kind of getting the edge on some of these sports books and gambling websites. No, I see it Chiefs.
Yeah. I pointed this game out, even before the episode, as having, I thought it was a strange situation that the 49ers were favored. How often do you see an undefeated team going up against a 3-3 team, and the 3-3 team gets the edge?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I know they're at home, so they always get a slight bump, but I think there's this crazy, bias towards the 49ers the past couple of years where they're like, oh, it's the Niners. People love the story of the fast, aggressive defense, the super deep offense with this young hotshot quarterback who is Mr. Irrelevant. But I think that luster is starting to wear off, and people are realizing they're just a regular team now. You know,
Yeah.
they're 3-3. They've been bit by an injury bug. They are mortal, just like the rest of the teams.
Yeah.
You know who's not mortal? Patrick Mahomes.
Son of a bitch.
No, literally, why would anybody bet against him? Like, say it out loud. It's insane. Of course it's the Chiefs, guys. Come on.
Yeah, and
Use your brains.
I think that's your betting opportunity for this week. I'm not going to outright say play of the week because usually I'm more confident in my plays, but there really wasn't a whole lot of opportunities this week. But I would say if you have to bet on a game, I think that's a good one.
Fast forward 1 week, San Francisco wins 50-20.
Well, then the point spread didn't matter either way.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But let's close out the Fantastic Four with their very own hometown Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the Meadowlands to face off against the dreaded New York Giants. Rich, who wins this one?
I'm going with the Eagles, but I feel like it's because the Giants are so inept.
Yeah, I don't think the Eagles come out and they thump the Giants. I think it's another Browns situation.
Yeah.
Where we win and it's like, well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do we just leave it at that?
Yeah, because
the Eagles should win. Like, they should absolutely win this game.
Yeah. Daniel Jones doesn't scare me.
No.
But
in fact, if he were out, I'd be more scared.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But also at the same time, with our troubles with Nick Sirianni, yeah, I feel like this is going to be like a stupid 17-14 game.
Yeah.
When it really should be like a 28-10 game.
Yeah. No, perfectly said. I'm with you. Birds all the way, but just barely. Barely birds.
Yeah. Not confident.
No.
And there you go. That's our Fantastic Four picks for week number 7 of the NFL season. Yeah, so there you go. I'm not doing like an official pick of the week because I looked at the slate and I wasn't
It was a wacky week.
Yeah, I feel like the sports books did a good job because I didn't really see any mismatches really.
At least on the app that I follow, a lot of 2.5, 2.5 spreads.
That's a key number. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like almost like everybody.
Yeah, it's a good key number so that you get the field goal.
Yep.
But I would say if you have to place a bet, I would probably look at the Chiefs game. I don't understand why that's an even.
It jumped out to me too. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're both going to be wrong.
Probably, but we'll find out. We'll find out why next week, and you'll have our reactions to that when that happens next week in the Sports Sampler. But we still have more show on this week's episode because we still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news when we return from the break. So don't go anywhere. This is the Crisp Noodle Podcast. We'll be right back.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off me.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look. Laven.
Oh yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle podcast. Oh man, yeah, we need we need the sports sampler every week of this season. It's therapy.
It is. It truly is.
Yeah, this is how we get through the NFL season.
It's a stressful thing to be an Eagles fan.
Yeah, and a Sixers fan,
And just
and a
Philadelphia fan.
Phillies
in general.
fan. Oh God.
Yeah, it's been really rough for you. See, this is why I only follow the one sport, because otherwise I'd have to be grieving the Phillies, annoyed at Joel Embiid. I could just focus all my despair on the Eagles now. Life is just suffering. It's just pain and suffering.
Especially as the life of a Philadelphia sports fan.
Yes.
It's we can't have nice things.
No, never.
No. All right. Well, at least we can have one all right thing.
Yeah.
That
Just
is
all right?
Just all right. And that is the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, officially in entertainment entree territory, and we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with new movies, TV, and video games in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people at home?
All right, well, first up, we have Rumors, a new horror dramedy in theaters this week. It follows the leaders of the G7 summit as they meet to draft a statement on a global crisis only to be abandoned in the woods as a dense fog and new horrors appear for them to contend with. The movie aims to balance outlandish satire with horror, and critics mostly agree that it succeeds, with the film garnering around an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 7 out of 10 on Metacritic. It looks wacky. It's a neat concept. So if you're looking for a little bit of humorous spooky season movie, go check out Rumors in theaters this week. But in TV, this is the big show. God damn it, they are stealing our ideas. It's Florida Man is premiering this Friday at 11 p.m. on HBO and Max. That's literally the title. It's Florida, man.
Florida Man.
It's Florida Man. It's a 6-episode comedy series featuring real-life interviews with Floridians that were part of whatever this outlandish thing is, and then interspersed with celebrity-led reenactments.
We've probably talked about some of these people.
I'm going to be I cannot express to you how excited I am to watch this freaking show and see, like, I don't know, like the person marrying a Ferris wheel or like somebody driving with a missile.
Yeah, I want that guy. That guy needs to be interviewed.
Like,
If this is going to be...
I want the interview because then all my questions are answered. Like, why did you think that this was acceptable? I cannot wait to see
The guy with the nuke needs to be on the show.
Yes.
If he's not on the show, I'm not watching it.
I'm so excited. So 6 episodes. That means 6 Florida men, and reenactments of their Florida story. I feel like they snatched our segment from us. We've been doing this for 11 years.
And so chances are we've talked about these people.
We had to have.
Yeah.
At some point, right?
So, yeah, it'll be an interesting correlation.
What do you think? How many out of 6 were covered by us?
I'm hoping all 6.
All 6? You think all 6?
I hope so. I hope nothing
escaped.
Yeah, I hope nothing escaped to my research.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, we both have to check it out. That is, It's Florida, man. Friday, 11 p.m. on HBO and Max. And finally, in video games, we got 2 games coming out this week. Neva is a new 2D action platformer coming to all major platforms.
Neva.
It's coming out this week. It has players assuming the role of a young swordswoman who is bound to her fantastical wolf companion. The duo must journey through a rapidly dying world to survive and push back against the darkness. Critics are loving the emotional narrative, the hand-drawn like visuals, and some are calling it a work of art. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Squirrel with a Gun. And that is pretty self-explanatory. You are a squirrel, and you have a gun.
And that squirrel's pissed off.
And you shoot people with said gun.
Had enough of this.
That's basically it.
I've had it when
I've had
enough of these people on this.
I've had enough of these mother effing people on this mother effing
earth.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the equivalent.
So, what do you think? Do you think you're going with artistic platformer, or are you going to go with Squirrel with a Gun?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Squirrel with a Gun.
Squirrel with a Gun? I figured you'd be Squirrel with a Gun kind of person.
Squirrel with a Gun and Doki Doki Literature Club. Back and forth.
You're set.
Yeah.
I know how Rich is spending his weekend.
You're set.
That's what we're all looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. All right, one entertainment story to talk about this week having to do with video games, and it is, I saw this on Reddit. I saw this on various video game forums, but the hammer, I feel like, has come down in terms of the world of, quote, licensing.
Yeah, so it's finally, like you said, the hammer's come down. It's quote-unquote official. Valve is making it explicitly clear on Steam when you purchase games.
You don't own the game.
You do not own the game. You are purchasing a license. That is what they're saying. So yeah, this is the exact quote. A purchase of a digital product grants a license for the product on Steam. So it seems like a very simple thing. Like, I think those in the know have always known this. Like, you and I have known this. When you buy a digital game, you don't actually own anything. And maybe for some people, they conflate license with ownership, but that's not what digital games are.
Yep.
We've heard in the past, there's been stories where a company's like, you know what, I don't want to support the servers anymore, or there's a licensing issue with, this game has a song in it that we don't want to pay for licensing anymore, so we're just going to pull the game off the store, and it's just gone forever. You don't own it. So if they take that away, then your license, they've decided to stop offering that service. So
yep, sorry.
So
you wasted the money.
You paid $20, $30, $40, $70 for some of these games. They might just evaporate. And people might be wondering, well, how does this differ from the past? I mean, in the past, you had a physical game. The game was on the cartridge, the disc, whatever it might be, the floppy disk. Even now, when you buy a disc, the game is not on the disc. It's just a license. And it's like, cool, you're allowed to play this.
Yeah, it's like you get permission, not
you
actually own the game.
Right, exactly. So this is like the nail in the coffin. There's no ownership anymore.
It's sad to see.
It is sad to see. How do you feel seeing this come out? Because we're kind of used to it. Like both of us use Spotify, and before that iTunes, and streaming videos and things like that. But I don't know. Video games for us, for me at least, has always been a little different. Yeah, I think
it just feels like it's a way to get screwed, Because like you said, like if Steam or Origin or PlayStation Store or any of these...
Just last week, the Little Big Planet story,
Yeah.
where they're like, we don't want to sell it anymore. Done.
Yep, sorry. You lost access to that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's a way for you to lose money. It's a way for you to lose access for something you paid money for.
Yeah.
Which that shouldn't be fair, I feel like. But I guess the world has decreed that it's allowed. I don't understand it.
And for me, from a moral and an artistic standpoint, it's particularly troubling because it just
and that example you gave with
Yeah.
like using song licensing, oh my gosh, that is absolutely true.
Yeah. Fun fact, you might not be aware of this, but as a Sega fan, it's really hard to find collector's editions of Sega games that have Sonic the Hedgehog 3 because there's a Michael Jackson song on the Sonic 3 soundtrack that they don't want to pay to use.
There you go.
And so to get Sonic 3 into a digital collection, they would have to rewrite music for that section or like recode the game to swap out the music. It is on a few collections, but notoriously, whenever you see like one of those little Sega things, you just like plug and play things, you look, it'll say Sonic 1, Sonic 2,
no
Sonic 3
Yep.
for that reason. And it's like those little things that people not in the know don't realize. Like, I remember Sonic 3 was such a good game. Why can't I find it? It's because some billion-dollar corporation doesn't want to pay the 17 cents per copy for you to be able to play Sonic 3.
Yep.
Or whatever the licensing. I can't imagine. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure that Sega could front the bill.
I don't want to encourage criminal usage of things.
Yes, you do. You recommend it every time.
But I feel like just whenever you hear moves like this that screw you out of an ownership or screw you out of owning content, it's going to push more people to look for different ways to enjoy the content that they want to enjoy. It's going to work against you.
How about recently Apple was forced to allow ROMs and emulators on their phones through some weird EU legislation. And like that same week, me and my brother, we downloaded emulators and ROMs. We were playing Game Boy Advance and Nintendo games on our iPhones through, we, of course, had the ROMs legally, not from downloading on a website. Which
nice save.
Wink, yeah.
Nice save.
But immediately after that, Nintendo issues literally thousands of takedown orders for Vim's Lair, which was one of like the largest repositories of ROMs online.
Yeah.
And now you can't find a lot of those games, and it's a problem for digital archiving, right? I was going to say before we got onto the whole piracy thing that from a moral and artistic standpoint, it really bothers me that people's hard work, meaning the developers, the creators, just evaporates and disappears. There's a very real problem with preservation and archival efforts for digital content. HBO Max removing shows completely from their service. Disney Plus has also started doing that, just completely removing, eliminating things. You can't find the classic Simpsons episode, Stark Raving Dad, where they have the power plant strike, the famous line where Grandpa Simpson says, one trick is to tell them stories that can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Because Disney deemed it offensive, and they removed it. And it's just gone. The other one that you can't find is Lisa's Birthday, where Michael Jackson... Disney's like,
damn Michael Jackson.
It really is Michael Jackson. It's all
his fault. He showed up.
That is also removed. But like, it's just frustrating that unless you have the disc copy, you just can't find these things. They just don't exist after a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, you either have to go the illegal route or you have to have some ancient physical media that is becoming harder and harder to find and harder to find a way to play or view that content. And like,
it's rough.
It sucks because they have like, this is going to sound really like weird and highbrow and crap, but like you go to museums, there's manuscripts from thousands of years ago
Yeah, and they've made it.
No, I mean, literally, like 100 years from now, you still won't be able to watch Stark Raving Dead.
Yep.
Like, part of me thinks that that's just absolutely bonkers. That something can survive for thousands of years, and we put it in a museum. And, like, we learn so much about the society through their art. Where's our art?
Yeah, it's going to get copyright striked.
Yeah, what happens when Sony's like, we can't sell The Last of Us anymore? It's just gone.
Yep.
I don't think that would happen. That was a bad example. But,
I don't know.
But you know what I mean.
Nothing's off the table. If something comes down the road, Pedro Pascal wants
$100 billion
for his likeness.
Yeah.
Oh no, get rid of it. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Look at Westworld. We can't watch Westworld.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah. Like,
even if I wanted to go back and watch those,
it's not that far fetched.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. It sounds far-fetched,
no, but
it
it's
isn't.
happening. It's actively happening.
Yeah.
It's actively happening. Like, if you don't have physical copies of all those old Nintendo games, you can't find ROMs for them. And at a certain point, they're just not playable. Or you got to pay $70 every 2 years to get the remaster.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem, is everything's going to be remastered.
So what do we do about it? I shouldn't have even asked. Yo ho, me hearties. Yeah, but when Nintendo issues takedown orders, you can't sail.
Yeah,
I mean, you could sail the darker seas.
Yeah, just looking out. There's a nice pier. You might want to take a walk.
Take a walk off the pier.
Yeah, just enjoy that pier for 8 hours.
Something else that came up in this article that I was reminded of that frustrates me was that Steam doesn't allow you to bequeath your digital library.
Yeah.
That came back up in this conversation I saw with the headlines. They're like, yeah, they won't let you leave your game library in a will or transfer it to somebody. Like, you're on your deathbed and you're like, I want my kids to play my games. Steam's like, screw you and your kids. Isn't that just wild?
But how do they enforce that? Can't I just give them...
Share a password?
Yeah, can't I just give them my password? Or are they going to be like, oh, we see your date of birth. You're more than 100 years old. That's not right.
Wait a second. 112? That's not possible.
Shut down that account.
I think it's more likely what it is like if somebody already has an account, they would like to transfer the content from one account to another. Like, I don't know. It's just the twisting.
Yes.
It's the twisting. It's like the knife is already in. The damage is done. Stop twisting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You keep doing all these pokes onto audiences. Sooner or later, they're gonna say enough of this.
Yeah,
and they'll find other ways.
They will.
Yep, that's society. So there you go.
So yeah, Steam. Boo.
Yeah, boo. All right. Well, there is one way to increase our morale here on the Crispy Noodle podcast.
What would that be?
And I think it's time for a dose of the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I've seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meet tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing the story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I don't know. Are we pitching a second season to HBO for Florida, or are we going somewhere else?
Yeah, this story we're going to Oregon.
Oregon?
Yeah.
Like on the trail there?
Well, no, we're going all the way to the state.
Okay.
I don't think we've had an Oregon story, or
I
we
don't-
haven't. It's been a while.
I don't think so. I know they're weird in that region.
Yes.
But they generally keep their weirdness to themselves, I feel like.
Yeah, well, this one leaked out to the country.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yep. So this is an interesting case here in Oregon of getting caught with probably the wrong the wrong items on you.
Okay.
So first off, in this story, a Portland cop noted that there was a suspicious car in a parking lot and decided to run the plates. It was a 1994 Ford Taurus. So I mean,
Okay. That is
wow.
Wow.
That's a 30-year-old car.
That is suspicious.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know Ford built them pretty good in the 90s, but that's a long time to hold a car.
That is a long time.
Well, his suspicions was right, as the plates were shown to be stolen.
Oh, no.
So,
all right.
Yeah,
Not off to a great start.
Right, not off to a good start here.
Suspiciously old car, suspiciously stolen plates.
Yep. Oh, by the way, this was at 1 a.m. So yeah, having
Suspicious time of day.
yeah, suspicious time of day, suspicious guy in a suspicious car.
Not good.
Yep. Oh, and this is a couple, by the way. Sorry, this is a couple here. The cop found 35-year-old Reginald Reynolds.
Wow.
There you go.
That is a right proper name.
That's a proper name.
Reginald.
I've had this wonderful car here for 30 years. I'm Reginald Reynolds. Yes.
They don't build them like they used to.
Nope. And 37-year-old Mia Bagenstos. That's a
One name is like the epitome of like ye old, like proper English, and the other one is Baggenstuff.
Bagenstos.
Bagenstos?
Yes.
Something just came over me and I took my clothes off.
Sounds like she's on the verge of saying that. Yeah.
I like Baggenstuff better.
Baggenstuff.
Feels like a Lord of the Rings Hobbit name.
Yeah, it does.
Baggenstuff.
Yeah.
I'm Baggenstuff. And I'm Reginald.
Wow. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
What an odd
pairing.
combination, yeah.
What a pairing
It's
over
the
there.
true odd couple. So
Is Baggenstuff a cousin of Bilbo Baggins?
I think so. It's Baggins stuff.
Yeah, right? Are they related?
I think so. So what did Reggie and Baggenstuff do?
All right.
Was
so,
Reggie stuff in the bag?
All right. So first off, yeah, the car is stolen, so that's not good.
Right.
Strike
one.
Yeah, strike one. It's actually good. That's probably a good analysis
no.
for this. So strike one there. Then the cops patted down Reynolds, who had a loaded .357 handgun on him.
Strike two.
So yeah, there you go. That's not good. That's also
All
not
right,
good.
Let's see. Are they striking out?
Yep. All right, and then they pat down Mia Bagenstos or Baggenstuff, if you want to call him. And Mia had a bag
Baggenstuff
that says on the bag, definitely not a bag full of drugs.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. The evidence has been falsified.
Yes.
I don't think that's strike three. The bag said it definitely wasn't. Definitely wasn't.
Not a bag full of drugs.
Baggenstuff had a bag of stuff, but it wasn't drugs.
That's what the bag claims.
That's what the bag said.
The evidence has been falsified.
Do you think that ever works? Because
Well-
I'm assuming it didn't because they're in this segment.
Yes, unfortunately, that was a lie.
You betrayed the law.
Okay, Murray. Murray.
Yes.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
You betrayed the law.
Yes, this that bag was completely lying. The cops say that they found. Let me get this full list here. So they found a bag of meth, 3 white pills that were oxy, a meth pipe, and loose $1,360 in cash. So I think we have an idea of what they were doing at this parking lot.
Yeah.
My God! What the hell's going on tonight?
Yeah,
at 1 a.m. with
at 1
stolen
a.m.
plates.
Yeah, they're definitely up to no good.
So the bag was definitely a lie.
Yes. Also, when they searched the vehicle itself, they also found more bags of meth totaling half of a pound.
I feel like that's a lot of meth.
That's a lot of meth. Yeah, that is definitely a lot there.
My God! What the hell's going on tonight?
And I have a photo of the evidence that were collected.
Oh, okay.
Including the lying bag.
Okay,
So on our
let's see.
video feed, if you want to see the bag, there it is. Definitely not a bag full of drugs.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh, they also confiscated a scale as well. So
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear what they were doing with this bag of not drugs.
Yes. Boy.
That is just a stupidly brazen thing to have a bag like that. You're like, ha ha ha, that's so funny. What do you think's going to happen if you get caught?
That's the first place we're looking.
Yeah, right? Is the bag that says it's not drugs, but very clearly drugs.
Yes.
Do you think that's ever, I mean, I don't think they expected that to work, but do you think it ever has worked? Like somebody sees the bag and like, oh, okay, it must be sugar. I don't know.
Is it flour? Are you
Is
baking?
it flour? Yeah.
You doing some bacon over there?
Oh, you're a baker with your scale and your individual bags of teaspoons of flour and sugar.
You're making little bread for ants.
Bread for ants. Making bread one slice at a time.
I'm a very particular kind of baker.
Right, exactly.
I make one slice.
One slice of bread at a time. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that is definitely a large amount of meth on
half
them.
a pound. That seems like a lot of meth.
Yep. And they were charged with a full list of felony counts, including possession of a stolen vehicle and methamphetamine trafficking.
Oh, man.
And the Portland Police Bureau says that, unfortunately, the definitely not a bag full of drugs bag will unfortunately have to stay in the evidence locker room until further notice. So
they lost a perfectly good bag.
Yeah.
Of not drugs.
And also just a stylish bag. Definitely.
So stylish.
Nice.
I know.
It's all nice and italicized except for drugs, which is kind of in a wavy font.
Yeah.
So interesting design.
That's so embarrassing for them.
Oh, wait a minute. I mixed up my bags.
I mixed up my bags.
Oh, I should have put the...
You know these women when they're swapping bags for the new season.
Yeah.
Sometimes they put the wrong thing in the wrong bag.
That's not my drug bag.
Yeah.
This is definitely not the drug bag.
I wanted my drug bag, but this is definitely not it. Do you think they just needed to sell it more?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what it is? They just needed to I forgot.
Maybe. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, they got felony counts coming their way.
Whoops.
Yep. All right, and I got one more story here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I can fit one more story in here. And another just interesting decision, if you will.
Okay. Where are we heading to with this one?
This one, Denver, Colorado.
Wait, no Florida?
No, they're taking
the week that we talk about a show about Florida, man?
They're taking a break. They're going to watch the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
They're going to take a break. They're going to watch the show.
They're going to come back. They're going to redouble their efforts.
Correct.
Oh, no. That's terrifying.
That's what's going to happen.
So Denver.
Yes, Denver.
Now, lots of things are legal in Denver.
Yeah, but not this one.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And the tagline on this is simply just sometimes old habits die hard.
Okay.
And that is because last Thursday, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office was able to confirm a weird incident. That is because the Sheriff's Office said that a man with 3 prior stolen car convictions who was going to the Jeffco courthouse to meet his probation officer actually showed up with a stolen vehicle.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
They'll never suspect it right under their noses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best. That's like when they say that, like, people break out of prison, they like hang around the prison because they don't expect them to flee, or is it the opposite way around? Maybe I'm wrong. Scratch that, reverse it.
Yeah, something like that. But
so he shows up to the court case or whatever it was.
his meeting with a probation officer.
The probation, yeah, with the stolen vehicle.
Yep.
Awesome, perfect. So I guess the meeting didn't go well.
You betrayed the law.
Yeah,
that was actually what the
that's
probation officer said.
Yeah, actual audio there.
You betrayed the law.
Yeah, he did, literally.
Judge Dredd, he's right there waiting for you. So, yes, the sheriff's office said deputies ran upstairs. Oh my gosh! Quick, Johnson, run!
Well, they're thinking, like, this is the easiest, like, booking arrest ever. We gotta get him.
Yep. So the deputies simply ran up the stairs, placed him in handcuffs. The man himself tried to deny any wrongdoing.
How do you get out of that one?
He didn't. They ran the plates on him, and they found it was a stolen car. So he's not getting out.
I didn't mean to steal it.
Well, he does have an excuse.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Okay.
Simple one. He says he didn't steal the car. He said he, quote, borrowed the car from a friend. Oh, there you go.
Of course.
Oh, gotcha.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah, just simple borrowing.
Simple borrowing, yep.
And I guess he just
without their knowledge.
Yeah, just without their knowledge. Just woke up the next morning. Oh, my car's stolen.
Yeah. It's either stolen or borrowed.
Yeah.
Who knows?
One deputy initially just instinctively told him, well, then I guess you shouldn't trust your friends anymore. If that's the case. And the sheriff's office confirmed on X that, quote, he may have arrived in the stolen car, but he left in one of ours.
Oh.
So, yes, confirmed.
Damn.
You couldn't pick another crime to do on the
Was
way
that
to
the
your
best way to get to the meeting?
Oh my gosh, I can't be late.
Right, exactly. Does the man not own a car? I guess he doesn't own a car.
I guess not. He keeps stealing cars.
This was what, the fourth time? Because he had 3.
Yeah, 3 prior convictions. So this was number 4.
So anytime he needs to go anywhere, he just
if he gets
steals
one
a new
more,
car.
then he gets a car.
It's a punch card.
Yeah.
But like anytime he needs to go somewhere, he just steals a car. Is this real life Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got to drive somewhere. Let me just grab this car real quick.
Yeah. Why bother owning a car?
I didn't know it was that easy.
It costs so much money to own a car.
It really does.
I might as well just borrow.
I
might as well just borrow one.
I'm going to save myself a couple $100 a month and just start borrowing cars around town.
Yeah. I'll give it back to them eventually.
I'll bring it back.
Eventually.
At some point.
Yeah. You know.
A week, 2 weeks. You'll get it. Don't worry.
Yeah, some point.
Yeah.
Might be chopped up.
Chopped up?
Yeah. Whoops.
Are you borrowing the car and then scrapping it?
Yeah, you know. I'm short $500. I need to make some money here.
Oh, man.
I got to go to the probation officer.
He just drives there. And then, I don't need this car anymore. I could return it. Or I could scrap it for cash.
Yeah. So, true story. And both stolen car convictions. That's what was the deciding force.
Both of them, yeah. A lot of stolen cars. Everybody, lock your cars.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
Apparently the car thieves are out.
They're out in force. Selling drugs and going to probation meetings.
Yeah. One is completely not helping society, and the other one is kind of trying, but not quite.
But not quite? Wait, which one do you think is the helping and which one isn't the helping?
That's for you to decide.
Okay. Oh, man. All right.
Yep, and there you go. That's what I have for you this week in the non-fortune cookie odd news. Yeah, lock your cars, folks, because
people will be borrowing them.
Yeah, that's right. They're just going to borrow them.
I don't want anybody borrowing my car.
It'll come back in 3 months.
3 months and
8
3
months.
pieces.
Yeah, 3 pieces, yeah. So there you go, folks. That's the end of the odd news and therefore the end of the Crispy Noodle podcast for this week. Thank you guys for supporting our little show. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media, Hubbabaloo, all that nonsense, X, Twitter, whatever. Are we really going to call it X? Because like, the news story called Twitter X. So I guess
they've been calling it X.
I guess it's starting.
For like a year and change, more than that. Where have you been?
I don't know.
It is a dumb name, though.
It's a dumb name.
It's a super dumb name.
Yeah. So, whatever. All the social media, Hubbabaloo. Make sure you follow the Crispy Noodle on all of that. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the podcast sent to you every week. 2 main ways to do that. First one is on YouTube. We put the video podcast up on YouTube. If you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you'll get a notification when the episode goes up, and it'll be right in your account. You can watch the show there on YouTube. Second main way to do it is to go to Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify, and you can watch it there, but you can also put Spotify in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go. So if you're stealing a car and you're doing your local business, you can listen to the Crispy Noodle podcast on the go with you as well.
Perfect. See that?
Yes.
Your own car, a borrowed car, any which way you like it.
Just break in the cars and just plug the Crispy Noodle podcast in all the cars.
There you go. Just set it playing on all the cars. That way when people get their car back,
they're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
Yeah.
So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast. If you need to get in touch with us individually on X, I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on X, find us on Instagram. Let us know what's happening. If you give us a topic to talk about on next week's episode, we'll give you a sausage shout out. All right. But for right now, we got to wrap this episode up. This has been the Crispy Noodle podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.